There's one term that you forgot. It's an elite term as well.
Fast.
You're welcome. You're welcome. No, I love fast. Check under the hood. So what is check under the hood? When you tell somebody to go check under the hood, what are you telling them to go do?
Well, so many of us are excuse makers. I mean, that's part of who we are, and it shouldn't be that way. When you see a team struggle, the first thing the fans and the media blame are the players, or they blame the coaches. It's never more evident than the NFL. I always laugh every week when I'll hear someone say, well, they got bad players in the NFL, some team that always struggles. I'm thinking, wait a minute. Think about what you just said. There's not a bad player in the NFL. They're NFL players. Same with the coach. You can't say, well, he's a bad coach. Now, maybe they're not coaching well, or maybe the player's not playing well, but that's where I always say, lift under the hood. Never make excuses. When I was a coach, I would never let one of my coaches say he's a bad player. I'd warn him and say that again, you probably have to leave, because that's just, you're making excuses. Now, dig deep and find out why. Every time I've had a team struggle, every time, it's fallen in one of three categories. Number one, there's some trust issue. The players don't trust the coach don't trust the players, or awful when the players don't trust each other. Number two, you really think about it, it's called a dysfunctional work environment, Reggie, and that's that, where the expectations are very high, but we don't work hard.
I've been there before, Coach.
And the coach has to be real clear with his team, say, wait a minute, that's going to lead to frustration, anger, disappointment, because we want to win a championship. I got news, guys, we're not working hard. So stop with the expectations. If your work ethic must exceed or equate your expectations, that's a good environment. And the last one is real obvious. You got a selfish team, man. You got problems on your team. Football is an unselfish sport. That means you got to do the nasty. That means I'm a running back. I got to go protect for my quarterback. That you don't always get to carry the ball. Sometimes you have to run down a kickoff 22 miles an hour and throw yourself into someone coming 15 miles an hour the other way. That's not fun. Why would you do that? Because you love your team and your teammates. So when you hear LSU, Penn State, the Wolverines struggling, stop with the bad players. I get sick of hearing that. It's not the players. I don't think it's the coaches. But there's something wrong. Lift the hood, find out one of those three things is usually the reason.
While we're on that theme, we're going to take some programs into the shop right about now. Wendy's delivering fans the show that they want to watch. And you voted, and we got you. This week's Wendy's Twitter topic, several big-time programs off to a slow start. Which team do you want to see the Big Noon Kickoff guys discuss? And Michigan edging out LSU. All right, so last week, Michigan, they averaged over 11 yards to go on third down. Over 11 yards to go on third down in that loss to Indiana. The evaporation of their running game the last couple of weeks, that is one of many concerns under the hood in Ann Arbor right now.
Yes, sir. And, Coach, I thought you just painted that beautifully. You know, when you're on a football team, it's about that perfect marriage, right? That marriage between the players and the coaches and the staff. Like, everybody has to be on the same page. And when I look at the University of Michigan right now, this football team, I saw a glimpse of that in week one. But where did it go? What happened to it? Because it can't just disappear that fast. I saw the nastiness that you were talking about. I saw the physicality in that first game. And we haven't seen that for the last couple of weeks. So, to me, Michigan right now is a team that we definitely need to check under the hood. I don't know if it's with the head coaches, if it's with the players, but something is not working there, and we definitely need to check under the hood.
Yeah, only the players and coaches of that program really know. I think the thing that's impacted Michigan the most, and, Coach, we talk about this too, is college football is such a developmental sport. And with the way the offseason, in particular spring football, has been impacted, and even some of the summertime where you might not have organized team activities by your coaches, but you do get together as players and have those 7-on-7s or throw routes one-on-one, or maybe you're working on your technique if you're an offensive lineman or defensive lineman. We didn't have that this year due to COVID. And so a team like Michigan, who only had 9 returning starters, 4 or 5 offensive linemen, new offensive linemen, a new quarterback in Joe Milton, it impacts them the most. There's not as much development, and I think there's not as much consistency, and that's where we're seeing a lot of Michigan struggles this year.
Yeah.
We're going to pop the Penn State hood because they have started 0-3 for the first time since 2001, and now they're without their top 2 tailbacks for the rest of the season. But the issue, Matt, maybe less run game, more of their aerial attack.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues there. I think if you point to the quarterback, and it's not just Sean Clifford, but the turnovers have been an Achilles heel for him, the lack of run game. And I really believe this team was a playoff contender going into the season, but despite the key personnel losses, but they haven't been able to overcome that. And, Coach, you talked about you don't make excuses, you dig deep. James Franklin has done a great job at Penn State. He's recruited really well. There's good football players there. So when guys go down with injury or guys depart, guys have to step up. So they have to lift up to the hood. They have to look at themselves in there and say, I'm here for a reason. I'm a good college football player. Now go out there and get back to fundamentals. They got a chance today against Nebraska.
Nobody saw this start coming for Penn State.
Start your Saturday strong at 10 Eastern with a legendary college football lineup on the Big Noon Kickoff Show. Big Noon Kickoff on Fox.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoy that clip, make sure you click subscribe somewhere down here. From game highlights to exclusive interviews and rankings, we've got everything you need as a college football fan right here, College Football on Fox.